averaging 20 a game. He is 15th in the NCAA in scoring. And David Jean-Baptiste has climbed another notch in the school record books. Baptiste is now 4th all-time in scoring at Chattanooga. So we are just about ready to get things underway. A win in any of the final 3 games from VMI would assure them of back-to-back winning seasons for the first time since 2011 and 2012. And Chattanooga can clinch the regular season title and the #1 seed in the Southern Conference tournament coming into today, along with that automatic bid to the NIT.
Chris, this Chattanooga squad, they come here today knowing they want to stay out of foul trouble, be efficient on offense, make sure that their decisions and their execution match up, because that's where you get performance. And they just felt like they weren't as crisp as they wanted to be against the Spartans.
Yeah, Chattanooga lost by 3, 73-70 after a furious second-half rally on Thursday night. The Mocs not able to close the deal and get the win.
You see Josh Ianni early, staying with Stevens wherever he goes. You cannot become detached from him. He's the ultimate stretch 4 or 5, whatever you want to call it.
Kerfman with 4 on the shot clock. Ianni with a rebound. Well, VMI lost last time out to Samford, 100-99 in a game that went into overtime. Jake Stevens, 41 minutes in that game. Trey Bounham played 43 minutes.
Yeah, Stevens nearly had a point a minute. That's why I think today, Chris, that what they're going to do in talking with their staff earlier yesterday, Cooper Cisco and Connor Arnold could see a little bit more playing time off the bench today, because they do come in here. It's exhausting to play those games. You wonder how many minutes you got left.
They are typically not a squad that will go to the bench a lot. They use basically a 6-man rotation all of last year. And their starters a year ago played more minutes than any other starting 5 in the country.
And they are conditioned to play that way, but again, knowing in conversations that they are looking to dig a little bit deeper, and they'll have to pick the right time to do that. It also becomes an issue, how do you use your timeouts?
Jumper from Conway, good. Sean Conway, the junior from Fairfield, Connecticut, buries a 3-pointer. VMI jumps out to the early 3-0 lead. We've played almost 2 minutes. Baptiste in the lane. The floater will roll off the back of the rim, and there's Stevens to grab the rebound.
Now that 3-pointer off the screen at the top of the key, that was the game winner for the Spartans. That's the opening salvo for the Cadets. Bring the big guy out, get around him, and get it home.
Stevens with a left hand. 5-0 VMI. 2.5 minutes into the first half. Baptiste. And Chattanooga's on the board.
You know, he had a sluggish game from behind the 3-point line against UNCG. Chattanooga as a team had a very sluggish start against Furman from behind the arc. So a shot to go down early is really big for them.
Honor Huff not able to get the shot to fall.
Boy, how about the couple of misses there from behind the 3-point line, and the rebound is short instead of long.
Chattanooga with a turnover on their end. They'll throw it away.
You know, you face a team like VMI, and you're going to have to find a way to get after some loose balls after the shot's been missed.
Inside to Stevens. Stevens, baseline. Draws a crowd and lost it. Last touch by Stevens, and Chattanooga will get it back.
You know what? He was 6'7" when he signed with VMI, and look at him now. I mean, we get another camera on Stevens. You'll see defensively and offensively, he is really he's earned himself a new wardrobe. I'm sure his mom got tired of saying, how tall?
Well, he's 6'11", and he's also put on about 30 pounds.
There he is, number 34 in the paint.
Baptiste, catch and shoot three. Long rebound taken by Kerfman.
So Avery Diggs now on Stevens.
Open look from the corner. Got it. Honor Huff, the freshman out of Brooklyn, coming off a 23-point performance against Chattanooga in the first meeting. He's averaging 15 a game in his last 10. Diggs in the paint for Chattanooga with the turnaround.
Nice little soft touch. He'll also be critical tonight. There's not a player on the floor in this afternoon's game, Chris, that doesn't have the ability but needs to get the points.
Sean Conway sees it rim out. You're going to see a lot of threes from VMI today. They lead the nation in three-pointers made per game. It's at 13. They've made 340 on the year. Here's Baptiste from the baseline, and Stevens at 6'11", able to grab the rebound.
Think about this. Chattanooga likes the three as well. VMI has shot 240 more three-pointers this year than Chattanooga. That's, you're nearing 8 more a game.
And the foul will go on Avery Diggs. Diggs not happy with the call by the official, called him with the bump. 15:04 left to go, first half. The Keydets of VMI with a 3-point lead over Chattanooga. Back to the McKenzie Arena in just a moment. VMI with the early 3-point advantage over Chattanooga as we get a look at your Southern Conference standings. Mocs on top at 12-3. Furman 2 games back with 3 to play. And Samford there at 7-7. How about the Bulldogs, Todd? Red hot right now in the Southern Conference. They've won 3 straight.
Getting hot when you need to get hot. You look at that middle group, the Spartans, the Terriers, Mercer, and Samford, almost all identical records, not only in league but also overall. 2 teams with 16 wins overall, 1 with 15, 1 with 17. So those squads, very consistent. And then there's Western Carolina now. They've lost, 5 in a row here.
Ball lost out of bounds. Chattanooga will maintain possession.
And Furman was in a bit of a nosedive, losing 3 straight. They managed to pull out of that the other night. VMI trying to make sure Chattanooga doesn't get set into this offensive half-court offense, denying with a little bit of press, and then flashing some zone here.
Here's Diggs, 4 to shoot. Nice move. Avery Diggs goes off the backboard, and it's a 1-point game.
So that is his second classic big man move of the game. A little bit of footwork there we're seeing. There's just no answer for that. Good footwork will beat defense every time.
Here's Bounham, penetrates against Banks and puts it up and in. Bonham, a 6-foot sophomore out of Mobile, coming off a career-high 31 points in that overtime game, the loss to Samford. He had 31 points, 5 boards, and 3 assists, and he played 43 minutes that day.
Yeah, and we'll see more of that offense. He is a guy that can finish against bigger players at the rim, doesn't mind the contact.
Ledford from 3, and the game is tied at 10.
47% of the shots in this conference are behind the three-point line. That leads the nation. And we're going to see, as you said earlier, a lot of those.
Diggs with a block on Stevens, but Stevens able to hold on to the ball and put it up and in. Keydet's back in front by 2. Ledford. Well, hit from 3, missed from 2. Catch and shoot 3. Camden Kerfman.
I mean, there's a reason why we highlighted him at the start of the broadcast. That's really his oldest move. He used to be sort of one-dimensional with a catch and shoot. He has really become a dimensional shooter, but hey, you go back to what you know best sometimes.
Huff comes away with a turnover on the tip ball. Stevens cut off by Diggs. The feed to Conway and the missed layup. Chattanooga heads back the opposite way.
VMI, good job reorganizing defensively. Not as set, though, as they wanted to be on that offensive possession. And that guy knew it.
Baptiste has 5. 3-point lead for VMI. Stevens, the big man at 6'11", missed the 3 but draws the foul. He is a 49% 3-point shooter. Don't let that 6'11" frame fool you. Pause in the action. We'll step aside as well. Jake Stevens to the free throw line when we return. 15-12 with 11:58 to go, first half. Back at the McKenzie Arena, VMI with the early 3-point lead over Chattanooga. Keydet's come in on a 2-game losing streak. That is after they have won 4 straight in conference play. Jake Stevens, the reigning Southern Conference Player of the Week, coming off a 39-point career high against Samford. Head coach Dan Earl in his 7th year. He is the Southern Conference Coach of the Year last year. They made it to the semifinals of the Southern Conference tournament.
I don't know if there's anything about that job that's easy, right? You have to recruit to a very specific school, and you have to get a very specific player, and you have to deal with the culture, and none of that is bad. And he has figured out how to make it all work, and they are lucky to have him. The question will be for how long.
But, he's brought an identity and has been able to maintain it, and he's talked a lot about, as Jake Stevens is at the free throw line, Earl has talked a lot about, we're not still where we need to be. With the culture's good. We got to get the basketball part better now, and clearly he's making some strides in that. They definitely have an identity, though, at VMI.
Yeah, they really do. They really tough defense, solid three-point shooting. And you think about the coaches in this league that have moved on recently. We've got coaches that have been jettisoned to Virginia Tech,
Cincinnati,
Wake Forest. Yeah.
Dan Earl in his 7th year out of Penn State. His VMI Keydets, they lead the Southern Conference in scoring. They average 80 per game. Of course, tops in three-point shooting also.
Yeah, there's some old school players here tonight that are probably scratching their head knowing now that VMI and the Citadel are 1 and 2 in the league in scoring. Somebody tell Steph Curry that and see what his response is.
Casey Hankton with a steal for Chattanooga. Handoff to Malachi Smith, weaving to the rim. And not able to get it to drop. Rebounded by Connor Arnold.
Casey Hankton logging more minutes again. Remember, UNCG, one of his first games back after an elbow injury.
Honor Huff. Check that, it was Trey Bounham. Bounham out of Mobile, a 38% shooter from deep. And here's the steal. It's Bounham again off the glass and in.
Yeah, that's just a lack of focus.
And a 10-point lead for VMI midway through the first half. Baptiste. And there's Bounham again with a rebound.
Yeah, back to the identity question about VMI after this shot, Chris. They also play a very relaxed game. They don't ever look like they're on edge or out of control or anxious about their game at all. And that, again, starts with the head coach.
Baptiste around Stevens.
Chattanooga dug themselves a hole the other night against the Spartans, couldn't ever get out of it. I'm sure they would try to avoid that again today.
Stevens back to the goal, works his way in against Hankton. Fans here want a foul, no call. Rebound tipped out to Baptiste. Smith off the screen from Hankton. Goes to put it up, and he draws contact and a foul. Jake Stevens down. I think he came down funny on his ankle, maybe.
Yeah, I'm not sure how he landed or what he landed on. And I certainly hope he is okay, because I have spent the last couple of days in excitement ready to watch him play. Look, you want to see the good ones. We want to see him, and Chattanooga wants to play him. And I certainly hope he is okay and is able to come back. You always worry, we'll watch right here. Let's see if he came down on something. But certainly when he landed, he knew right away that something landed awkwardly.
Foul was on Tanner Mans, and that sends Malachi Smith to the free throw line. Smith at 83% on the year, averaging 20 a game for Chattanooga, good enough for 15th in the country in scoring. Good free throw shooter. It's 22-16. Bounham. Nice reverse layup. A thing of beauty by Trey Bounham.
What did we say earlier about him being able to finish at the rim despite the size of anybody around him? Defensive penalty here.
Foul underneath on Camden Kerfman. First personal foul on Kerfman.
You know, the Spartans in this building the other night, we've talked about that a few times, a team that I don't think that you want to face in the tournament. And VMI could create some anxiety in the tournament as well.
Well, I think VMI did a year ago.
Yeah.
Hankton, short, fight for the rebound, and a whistle. Foul will go on Cooper Cisco of VMI.
Worth noting, Chattanooga off to another shooting percentage below 40%.
Banks blocked, gets the rebound, puts it up again, another miss. There's Tata Strickland to come away with a rebound. Strickland at 5'11", battling against amongst the tall trees. Baptiste, as the shot clock winds down, not able to get it to fall. Loose ball, Banks has it. Baptiste again. This time it rims out. Strickland goes after it, it's out of bounds.
There's what we talked about in our pregame leading up. You got to put a face on the ball, and you're going to have to get after it today. Watch this effort right here just to get Baptiste a look.
Chattanooga now 6 of 20 shooting from the floor. Mocs are at 30%. VMI at 9 of 18. The feed going baseline to Cisco, and the shot rebounded by Strickland. Banks works his way down, and the missed shot goes out of bounds. Last touch by VMI. Chattanooga will keep it. 7:52 left to go, first half. The Keydets with a 24-16 lead over the Mocs.
Game night, winning is everything. But life's big wins happen off the court when you win a heart. When you win their trust. When you win their respect. First Bank's community banking is perfect for life's big wins because of what we're big on. You. Make us part of your team for life's biggest wins.
Some traditions just keep getting better and better. Ford F-Series, the official truck of the NFL, and America's best-selling trucks now for the 45th year in a row.
Now get 0% financing for 60 months, plus $1,000 retail bonus cash on Ford F-150. Only at your local Ford dealer.
What does it mean to win? Is it reaching back for a jam? Or simply reaching without pain? Walking 18, or finding the joy in just walking again. Whatever it means to you, the region's elite orthopedic team can help you win by defeating bone and joint pain. What's your win? We'll help you find it. This is world class. This is the Erlanger Orthopedic Institute.
The madness begins here. Make sure you're at the Harris Cherokee Center in Asheville, North Carolina, March 3rd through 7th for the Ingles 2022 SoCon Basketball Championships. You don't want to miss the action as your favorite SoCon teams compete for a championship and a berth in the NCAA tournament. Book your travel and tickets by logging on to SoConHoops.com or by contacting the Harris Cherokee Center Asheville box office. The madness begins in Asheville. Get your tickets today.
Backcourt side at the McKenzie Arena, and some Chattanooga alumni being honored here, former basketball players of the past returning. Among those, Greg Andrews, who was the first African-American athlete to play at Chattanooga.
Yeah, saw Ron Shoemate, who coached this club to a national championship, Division II.
Well, from the past to the present, this group of Mocs 22-6. And in position today to clinch the Southern Conference regular season title and secure the #1 seed in the Southern Conference tourney. That would also give them an automatic bid to the NIT.
They're trying to avoid the rare back-to-back loss, something they've only done one time this year. And VMI is a team that has the capability of putting it on them.
Smith in the paint, won't get the bounce. Mans with a rebound.
We got to chase that shooter.
Open look for Huff, and Honor Huff, who has been quite the surprise, had 23 against the Mocs the first time, 10 points in an overtime loss to Samford on Thursday, but the freshman has been a surprise at VMI.
He is really establishing himself at that younger age.
Malachi Smith spins his way to an opening.
And, you know, you pointed out his ability to get free. He plays with such speed in this game and control.
Five to shoot. Bounham step back and fires. And the rebound by Josh Ianni.
Remember, VMI playing without Jake Stevens now. They have retamped the ankle, but they have just now walked him off the floor.
Ianni shoots a little too much. Shot it over Lewis Rowe. And VMI back into the front court on the attack. Keydets have hit 5 3-pointers in this first half. There's another one. The pull up from Honor Huff. Back-to-back threes. They'll call that a 2 now by Huff. He's got 8. And the lead for VMI goes to 11. Biggest lead for the Keydets thus far. Under 6 minutes to go, first half. Open look, Strickland. Rebounded by Huff. And Huff over A.J. Caldwell and out of bounds.
Gonna have to take a timeout. Banks took a tumble at the other end in the battle for the rebound. This has turned into a very physical game. And it seems like VMI is capable of playing, whether it's physical or if it's just outside shooting, a little bit of a finesse game in there.
Jake Stevens out for VMI with an injury. He went down, appeared to be an ankle, but he left early in this first half. Ten to shoot off a screen for Huff. And the rebound taken away by Mans. And a great effort by Tanner Mans. Huff again has it tapped away from behind, and now he'll lose it out of bounds.
It's Mocs basketball.
Just couldn't bring that thing in, could he? Boy, Bonham and Huff at the guard spots. That is one solid, undersized backcourt.
Banks works his way down into traffic. They'll tie up for it. Possession arrow favors VMI, so the Keydets will get it back. And again, another heads-up hustle play by the Keydets. This time it was DJ Nussbaum.
We're seeing Nussbaum, who's only played in 16 games this year, right here reaching in. We told you that Cooper Cisco would be on the floor. He has now seen some minutes and remains on the floor. So they have dug into that bench and hoping that they can find some quality minutes with Stevens out. And there's Cisco right there. Look, with this team, if you know the system, you're okay off the bench. They're not asking you to score right now. They're just asking you not to screw it up.
Kerfman rims out. Malachi Smith with a rebound. Last time these two teams played up in Virginia, Chattanooga's bench outscored VMI 15-0. Keydets got nothing from their bench that night.
It's something that they have to live with.
Caldwell is short.
And unfortunately for them, they're finding out what happens when you have your best player hurt, right? There's just not a lot of other places to go.
Kerfman buries the three.
Except for behind the three-point line.
Kerfman has 6. And that is number 7 from deep in this first half for VMI. 32-18. They lead Chattanooga. Under 4 minutes to go. Smith off the glass.
Now, sometimes it's just okay to go ISO when you're the best player on the floor and another potential best player of the year in the league. You know, the other night, Chattanooga actually worked and got some of the shots that they wanted, the looks that they wanted. They just were unable to convert. And today, boy, they're back down under 30% again.
Kerfman not able to get the friendly bounce. And a 12-point advantage for the Keydets. Chattanooga will try to slice into this lead. Diggs off the glass.
Don't know if I've seen a better assist in the last couple of nights than the one we just saw from A.J. Caldwell there. Hardly even touched it before he fired it back inside.
Timeout on the floor, 32-22, 10-point lead for VMI, 2:38 left to go. We'll return to the McKenzie Arena right after this. Today's drone footage is brought to you by Crystal Air. Make travel a breeze. Kick off your next trip with Crystal Air. Chris Goforth, Todd Agnew with you today from inside Chattanooga's McKenzie Arena. And a 10-point lead for the VMI Keydets over Chattanooga, 32-22, with 2:38 left to go in the first half. VMI has hit 6 of 13 threes. There's Jake Stevens, the Southern Conference's Player of the Year, averaging 20 a game. Had 20 points and 7 boards last time against Chattanooga. He went down grabbing his ankle earlier in this first half. He has not returned, and Todd, that doesn't look good.
No, now you're trying to get the swelling down in case you want to get an x-ray of it. And Boy, I really hope he is okay. And it's unfortunate that we may not get to see him the rest of this game. But so far, his team has just dug down to another level.
Bonham goes cross court. Mans got it. Mans has been lethal.
I tell you, since the post-holidays, this stretch for him, there aren't a lot of options off this bench for scoring. There are for minutes, but he'd be the one.
Diggs, the turnaround with the left hand.
Now, you know, you're in a game, you're trading threes for zeros right now. And we talked about this the other night. I think in the college game, you can have 1 and 3 bad possessions in the first half. And then that gets tighter as the game moves on. You can go to 1 and 2, and then you got to exchange them. But again, another hole here for Chattanooga to have to work out of.
Yeah, Chattanooga rallied late in the first half to close the gap against UNCG as bound them with another shot. But it was that second half. UNCG shot 62% in the second half on Thursday night in this game.
And 70% of their points from that game came in the paint. So they managed to get to the rim, and when they weren't getting to the rim, they were able to hit them from outside.
Avery Diggs gets to the rim. He's got 8.
Now, we said this also at the start of the broadcast. This team in Chattanooga knows that if you don't like the numbers, you just got to keep working and work hard until the numbers change.
Mans lost it going baseline, and Chattanooga will take over with 1:13 left to go.
I know Malachi Smith, talking with him after the game the other night, not enough stops, not enough rebounds. Now, they have worked hard to get the advantage in rebounds here tonight, but still I think that getting the stop equation hasn't been completed yet.
And that had been something that Chattanooga had kind of hung their hat on throughout the early part of the season, was how well they had played defense. As David Jean-Baptiste racks up 2 more, he's got 9 as we're under a minute left.
Yeah, you are 100% correct, Chris. And, you know, a very noted and capable defensive team on the three-pointers. Still yet, VMI 50%, looking for more.
Kerfman short. Another chance for Chattanooga as Baptiste pulls up from 3. Not there, and we'll have a whistle and a foul underneath.
Chattanooga's fortunate. I think you're trying to get inside of a 10-point deficit before half. We're going to see Nussbaum check back in. Here he comes. He forgot to check in. The coaches had to remind him, we know we don't play you a lot, but you still got to go to the scorer's table and check in. And how about Chattanooga burning a timeout here?
30-second timeout for Chattanooga head coach Lamont Paris.
I think he realizes this is important, right? And normally, if he feels like his team is in control, he has said, I won't take a timeout. I would wonder now if he feels like they're not in control.
You've got a team now that has won 22 games this year. You've got folks in this town excited, people showing up in this arena. You don't want to drop 2 straight at home when you've had a chance to clinch a share of the conference title.
Yeah, no, not at all. I mean, you are trying to close this out, and it's just not getting any easier. And remember, it doesn't get any easier because you got to go on the road. And as poorly as East Tennessee State plays, they're going to be ready for that game. They have an opportunity to extend the misery. And then Samford.
Yeah, we've already talked about how hot the Bulldogs are.
Yeah, they are one of the wackiest teams. Earlier in the season when everything got started and we were broadcasting earlier, I think everybody admitted Samford was one of the hardest teams to put your thumb on. Couldn't figure out maybe where they would be, and they're playing well down the stretch.
17-9 are the Samford Bulldogs. They have won 3 straight in conference play to pull to 7-7. Coming out of the timeout, Chattanooga to inbound.
This will be a set play here. A quick reversal of the ball.
Ledford got it. Grant Ledford.
That's about as well coached as you can have.
Final 20 seconds of the first half. VMI in no hurry as Bounham comes into the front court, guarded by Smith. Bounham penetrating. Blocked from behind by Ledford, and Ledford's heave at the buzzer is short, and that's the way the first half will come to a close. 37-29. VMI leading Chattanooga as Terrell Owens gives a high five as this team walks off the court. Halftime presented by Papa John's. Fans, with a Mocs win, you win every Monday following a Mocs men's or women's basketball win. Use promo code MOXWIN to get 50% off your online pizza order. We've got to look at highlights, some stats, and we'll go around the Southern Conference. That's coming up. Papa John's halftime report when we return.
Please welcome to the court.
Todd Agnew with you. Chattanooga having 90s night tonight, so they're showing some highlights of the Sweet 16 team on the video board. Those guys will be rolling out here onto the floor momentarily. But, Todd, it's, again, another tough night for Chattanooga offensively.
Yeah, I mean, fortunately for Chattanooga, Malachi Smith gets going a little bit late in the game, so does David Jean-Baptiste, but a team that is continuing to struggle from everywhere on the floor. I mean, this just isn't about not making them from behind the three-point line. They've struggled in the paint as well. I think they'll get that number up again. They're getting where they want to. They're just not getting the shots to drop.
If you're Dan Earl, the head coach at VMI, I think you feel good right now. You've been able to come in, play your game the way you want to play it.
Yeah, look, you've set the tempo. You're pressing at different times. You're changing the speed and the look of the game. He's got to feel very comfortable because his team looks really relaxed.
And they've shot it extremely well from deep, which is what they are known for, nearly 50% in this first half.
Yeah, and they can do that because they have so much confidence. They never second-guess themselves. You don't see them shaking their heads. They just take their shots. They go down to the other end. They lock it down defensively. They come right back and shoot again.
Now, if you're Chattanooga head coach in Lamont Paris, what do you want to change in the second half to try to get this offense jump-started?
You might try some more isolation. I mean, you want to get Malachi Smith to work one-on-one, David Jean-Baptiste, see if that can get things going.
Back with more from the McKenzie Arena. We'll return right after this. The threes were falling. Honor Huff with the three. Kerfman connecting as well. Huff would finish the first half with 8 points. Here's his second three. Knocks that one down. He is 3 of 6 shooting. You'll see him this time inside the arc from 2. And Huff with the bucket. Kerfman again, straight on. Knocks down the 3. He had 6 in the first half. Now for Chattanooga, David Jean-Baptiste, 4 of 11 shooting in the first half. 9 points for DJB. Grant Ledford with a three-pointer. He had 6 in the first half. Malachi Smith, 6 points. Smith, 2 of 5 shooting in this game. And Avery Diggs came in, a real presence of late for Chattanooga. Diggs with a couple of buckets in the first half, 8 points for Avery Diggs. Ledford again, his second 3 of the first half. As we get a look at some statistical totals from the first half, those are brought to you by HHM CPAs, where trust matters. VMI shooting 45% from deep, nearly 50% from three-point range. Chattanooga at 36% from the floor. Mox with a slight edge in rebounding and points in the paint, but the deep three has been a little too much for Chattanooga defensively.
Still trying to figure out how to handle that, and that requires a lot of communication. You've got to be able to make the switches and stay close to the shooter. You know, we mentioned when we started this broadcast, I felt like defensively you had to jump to the ball and then hammer the post. I don't know how important hammering the post is right now with Stevens apparently out for the rest of the game. So now jump to that ball.
Chattanooga in the first half, the Mocs with 14 points off their bench for VMI. We mentioned the fact they didn't get any bench points at all in the first meeting between these two. They had 3 in the first half. That's not so. Look, they're not used to having to go deep. Now, you played overtime on Thursday night. Legs may be a factor, and oh yeah, your leading scorer and Southern Conference Player of the Week, and Jace Stevens, he's left with an injury now. You have no choice if you're Dan Earl.
Yeah, I think what you're looking here, if you're Dan Earl, you're looking for DJ Nussbaum to give you solid minutes without mistakes. Same thing from Cooper Cisco. So far, he's gotten that out of both of them.
We'll take a look at what else is happening around the Southern Conference and your leading scorers. That's still to come here on the Papa John's Halftime Report. Back to the McKenzie Arena right after this. Anniversary of the 1997 Sweet 16 team, one of the great Cinderella runs in the Big Dance's modern era. In 1997, Chattanooga defeated Marshall in the Southern Conference Tournament and advanced to the NCAAs as the number 14 seed. Mocs went on to defeat Georgia and Illinois before falling to Providence to end the season. That team was back on the floor here at halftime, back in front of Chattanooga fans, celebrating the 25th anniversary of that season and a week-long reunion. That's Chris Mims bringing out the trophy. Mims with the putback at the buzzer to defeat Marshall in that Southern Conference championship game. Some members of that team here tonight include the Southern Conference Player of the Year in Johnny Taylor, Chris Mims, Wes Moore, Isaac Connor, Willie Young, and more. The Mocs were led by head coach Mac McCarthy. He was also here tonight to celebrate that legendary season and those legendary players. Here's a look at your Southern Conference standings. Furman has won. They are now 11-5, so we can update that 19 and 10 overall.
And Wofford, with that loss, 8 and 8 right now, and VMI with a chance to maybe break out of that bunch right there if they could pull off a win here.
Ready to get the second half underway. Chattanooga will inbound. Mocs trailing by 8.
A little bit of a zone look again here. Just trying to make it difficult on a team that has not shot well.
Banks has it stripped away. VMI led by as many as 15 in the first half. Open three, Kerfman, good. Camden Kerfman.
So Banks takes a shot to the chin and doesn't get up and get back down to the other end of the floor. It's essentially 5-on-4, and VMI is so good at that. Look, they're good already. They don't need to be playing against you when you're shorthanded.
Banks muscling his way down the baseline, turns it into 2 points.
There's some of that isolation I thought we might see. Look, Chattanooga has to know that individually they are better, and they've got to take advantage of that. The question is, can you beat a VMI team right now that's maybe got a better feel for itself and more confidence?
Huff over Caldwell, arcing three that won't drop. Malachi Smith has the rebound for UTC. Smith averaging 6 rebounds a game along with those 20 points. Banks again inside, kicks it out. Smith from 3.
Good start. First 5 minutes always so important.
That's another Powerade three-pointer.
I'm sure the first couple of offensive possessions for Chattanooga will be a little bit scripted.
Kerfman again against Baptiste. Step back 3, short. And he will hear it from this riled up Chattanooga crowd.
It's Mocs basketball.
A little bit of a press again.
Entering the game for VMI, number 12.
You know, you're trying to eliminate VMI right here, any half-court offense that Chattanooga might be able to get into. You look, shot clock, you cross over, it's down to 20 seconds now.
Caldwell chasing after his rebound, but it's taken away by Sean Conway. Underneath, there's Huff muscling up, won't go. Rebound tipped out again, and it's Baptiste. Underneath, Ianni. Back to Baptiste, and the no-look to Caldwell. Banks from 3. Rims out. Chattanooga plus 5 in rebounding in this game, but Mocs haven't been able to get the offensive board when they've needed one. Huff gets some separation and drains it.
Boy, the step back by all of their shooters is giving them just enough room and rhythm to make very nice shots.
Huff in double figures now. He's got 11. He's gone for more than 20 3 times this year. On his way to that mark here in the second half. Here's Banks.
Darius Banks.
Bit of an overplay there underneath defensively. Boom, right?
Off the back of the rim.
I don't know if that's what they want Lewis Rowe doing, taking those threes.
It's Mocs basketball.
His passing ability has made him really a perfect fit for VMI. He's got 16 assists on the season. Looks like he was trying to keep up with the shooting performance of everybody else.
Rowe, a 6'10 freshman out of Australia. He's in place of Jake Stevens, who went down back in the first half with an injury.
Yeah, we're taking a look here now. I said earlier that Banks had gotten hit in the chin. It looks like it was actually in the nose. That'll water your eyes.
Smith.
Malachi Smith.
Well, you watch Malachi Smith, you understand why so many people are so excited about him. Tanner Mans drains a 3 on the opposite end. Mans has 6. Malachi Smith on the Lou Henson Award watch list, which goes to the top player in mid-major basketball every year. And Diggs will draw the foul from behind. That'll go on Rowe. Second foul on Lewis Rowe. 15:52 left to go in the game. VMI leads Chattanooga. We'll return to the McKenzie Arena right after this.
Let's talk trash, because we are so tired of being tossed out onto our beautiful Tennessee roadways. It hurts, and it's UGLY. Come on, join the movement at NobodyTrashesTennessee.com. Brought to you by the Tennessee Department of Transportation.
Carrie Underwood and James Harden always go for more with Body Armor Light. With natural sweeteners, no sugar added, and only 20 calories.
If your tamer passions include climbing, hang gliding, and river surfing, some may call you a hair-on-fire risk taker. We'd say, nah. They might not realize you're also a nonconformist, craft curator, history buff, art-loving experience collector. But ask a Chattanoogan, we just call you one of us.
You can make a lot of things with the dollar. At the Tennessee Education Lottery, we think they make a difference. That's why we're proud to have raised more than $6 billion for education. The Tennessee Education Lottery. Game-changing, life-changing fun.
The day the world stopped was the day we found where to go. From now on, we're not going to leave anything on our plates because we've learned to savor the moments that were always there, and they never tasted this good.
VMI is the best three-point shooting team in the conference. They average 12 made threes a game. We've got 15:52 left in this one. They've already hit 10 of 21.
Chris, they've got 5 different individuals hitting three-pointers.
Huff and Kerfman, by the way, have both hit 3.
Yeah, and so you got 2 guys that have hit 3, 1 that's hit 2. So not only do you have 5 individuals, but you've got 3 of them that have hit multiples. And, you know, they get down the floor so quickly, and they know their spots. That's why it's so important to reorganize as quickly as possible from offense to defense if you're Chattanooga.
Baptiste shot it over Mans and missed. Bonham off the glass and in.
Well, he sent 2 guys to the corners, 2 more on the wings, and the guard just drives it right down the lane.
Bonham has 13. Baptiste. Underneath for David Jean-Baptiste. One-on-one in a tight space. And Baptiste with a bucket. He's got 11.
Yeah, I think people think, you know, we saw the Sweet 16 team out here. Remember, they had 11 losses that year. And you can overcome. And Chattanooga right now, this club is not near 11, and they're not going to get to 11. But sometimes you go through these rough patches.
Foul will go on Malachi Smith. Chattanooga fans will not like that. Trey Bonham went to the floor.
And he'll get 3. Watch right here. We talked about jumping to the ball.
Dan Earl surveying the bench at VMI. Trey Bounham goes to the free throw line, sophomore from Mobile, coming off a career-high 31 points. He played 43 minutes in that overtime loss to Samford on Thursday night. He's got 15 here.
Now, one of the things you need to know about Trey Bonham is that he is first on the team, 67 personal fouls, but he's also second on the team in free throw appearances. So he knows how to get there.
79% foul shooter.
So he likes to play a little high risk reward type defense on one end and not afraid to take on the contact at the other end. Although this time he just got ran into and almost over.
Smith to the rim, the layup, Malachi Smith. Smith has 13. VMI lead trimmed to 9 again. Keydets have led by as many as 15. That was back in the first half. 8-point game at halftime. Huff inside. And a nice job by Lewis Rowe. Check that. It was Connor Arnold that finished. Smith draws a foul on his way. He'll get a chance to shoot two. Foul called on Honor Huff.
His first, team second.
Kind of get the feeling Malachi Smith has decided to put some of the game on his shoulder here.
Well, he's made 4 of his last 5 as he goes to the free throw line. 14 points now for Smith, 83% on the season. You mentioned it early, Todd. I think probably the favorite for the Southern Conference Player of the Year.
Yeah, you know, unfortunately, his numbers here down the stretch have tapered off slightly.
Entering the game for the Keydets, number 30, Sean Conway.
15 points today. He joins David Jean-Baptiste as the 2 mocks in double figures. Trey Bounham, he leads everybody. Bounham with 16. Loose ball, out of bounds. Chattanooga will get it back.
Chattanooga trying to heat up that defense, and it's paying dividends here in the second half. Watch right here. Just really active. Trying to bother the ball with your hands.
Ledford, the feed underneath to Diggs.
And how important is confidence, right? Just now, it feels like a switch has gone off for Chattanooga.
Hankton with the bucket. 7-point game. Huff off balance and he banks it in.
Wow, that is, that's good stuff. That's what that is.
Huff now with 13. Smith open from 3 off the back of the iron. Bounham rebounds.
VMI, attack the rim, kick it back out. Attack the rim, find a shot. Not there, just go at it. Keep going at the rim. Playing a little bit of that inside out offense.
And Dan Earl out to talk with the official there. An official had to come out and grab him. He was almost to the foul line.
Entering the game for Chattanooga, number 0, A.J. Caldwell. Taking in for VMI, 30, Sean Conway.
Foul was called on Chattanooga's Casey Hankton. Catch and shoot 3 from the corner. Tanner Mans Mans has 9 coming off the bench for VMI.
Wow. Just so good at breaking the two-man trap with some nice passing.
Ledford not able to convert, and bodies are on the floor.
Yeah, Hankton.
Darius Banks, again, a little slow to get up.
He ran right into Hankton. Little enemy fire there.
Foul called on Trey Bounham. That's his first personal. Third team foul on the Keydets.
You look at Chattanooga's team right here. Where's the offense going to come from?
Ledford. Well, maybe that's the answer.
That's another powering three-pointer.
9 points for Grant Ledford. Huff working against Caldwell. And the rebound by K.C. Hankton. Caldwell, corner three, short, rebound tipped by Ledford right into the arms of VMI. And the three from Bounham rolls out, rebound out of bounds, Chattanooga ball. Breaking the action with 11:13 remaining. VMI with a 58-49 lead. Will return to the McKenzie Arena. And this ball ends up out of bounds. Chattanooga ball when we return. What's up next at home? Presented by Real Estate Partners Chattanooga and Agent Claire Smith. She is ready to serve you in finding your next home. Women's basketball in this building on Thursday night, 7 o'clock, as they will take on Furman. Softball in action over at Frost Stadium. The Frost Classic gets underway Friday. And then men's basketball here a week from today, as they take on Sanford at 4 o'clock. That'll actually be part of a doubleheader that day, men's and women's action. 58-49, VMI with a lead. Grant Ledford has provided a little bit of a spark. He's got 9, a couple of threes for him. But Chattanooga find themselves in a hole here, down 9.
And maybe some more from him. A.J. Caldwell just lately hasn't been able to find his groove, and he is 0 for 3 from distance in this one.
Smith. A.J. Caldwell, by the way, 0 of 4, but maybe more uncharacteristic for Caldwell. Toddy's one of those guys that if he doesn't give you points, he gives you some other things. Here's the 3 from Huff, and he drains it. But Caldwell has been a guy that if the shots don't fall, he's going to give you 6-7 rebounds in a game, and he doesn't have a rebound tonight either.
No, 1 assist. And as you pointed out, being held off the rebound charts.
Open 3 for Banks. Well, these two just trade 3-pointers. 7 points for Banks, 61-54, midway through the second half.
Trying to force the guard to one side.
Deep 3 from Huff, and it's rebounded by Smith. Lob intended for Banks, and it ends up out of bounds.
I know Coach Dan Earl for VMI thinks that his team in the past has tried to hit too many home run balls, and he wants them to stay in character. And they're going to have their character tested here in the final 10 minutes of this one. You know, that Sanford loss was really just who made the last big play or who had the ball last. Same thing for Chattanooga against the Spartans.
Kerfman. Ayeni muscles for the rebound.
Chattanooga with some gambles defensively, but it paid off.
Smith in traffic, draws the foul. He'll go to the line.
Well, Chattanooga is starting to show you what it takes to climb back into the game. Still with that rebounding edge, now with some isolation, and working really hard on defense.
Malachi Smith with 25 in the first meeting with VMI earlier this year. Chattanooga won that game 78-74. We talk about how well VMI has shot it today. They're at 47%. First meeting, 54%. The problem that day was turnovers. They turned it over 16 times against Chattanooga, only 6. And Chattanooga has trimmed what was an 8-point deficit at the half, and it's a 5-point game now with 9 minutes left. Huff out to Bounham. Bounham. Kerfman. Rebounded by Smith. Smith. Baptiste.
Chipping away.
Well, if there's one guy that can find a way to get open in a crowd, it's that guy.
That play will force VMI into a timeout. They haven't looked good their last couple of trips offensively or defensively.
61-58, VMI with a lead. But Chattanooga on a roll. David Jean-Baptiste. 61-58, VMI leads Chattanooga, but the Mocs are on a 5-0 run over the last 2 minutes. UTC has both David Jean Baptiste and Malachi Smith in double figures. Smith now has 19, and that last basket before the break by Baptiste gave him 13.
Entering the game for VMI, number 15, Cooper
UTC now shooting 45% for the game, while VMI is at 46%. Keydets have hit 12 three-pointers in this game. VMI ball. Tipped away, taken away from Cisco. And Chattanooga will set it up now in half court. Malachi Smith into the paint. 1 point game.
VMI needs to find a way to weather this run here. And what's bothered them right now is that Chattanooga has figured out and has done a good job of anticipating the movement of the ball.
A 7-0 run for Chattanooga, and that's made it a 1 point game. Now Malachi Smith picks up his third personal foul. 1 point game, 7.5 to play. We got a good one inside the McKenzie Arena. Back after this.
If your tamer passions include climbing, hang gliding, and river surfing, some may call you a hair-on-fire risk taker. We'd say, nah. They might not realize you're also a nonconformist, craft curator, history buff, art-loving experience collector. But ask a Chattanoogan, we just call you one of us.
On game night, winning is everything. But life's big wins happen off the court when you win a heart. When you win their trust. When you win their respect. First Bank's community banking is perfect for life's big wins because of what we're big on. You. Make us part of your team for life's biggest wins.
What does it mean to win? Is it reaching back for a jam? Or simply reaching without pain? Walking 18, or finding the joy in just walking again. Whatever it means to you, the region's elite orthopedic team can help you win by defeating bone and joint pain. What's your win? We'll help you find it. This is world class. This is the Erlanger Orthopedic Institute.
Some traditions just keep getting better and better. Ford F-Series, the official truck of the NFL, and America's best-selling trucks now for the 45th year in a row.
Now get 0% financing for 60 months, plus 1,000 retail bonus cash on Ford F-150. Only at your local Ford.
Malachi Smith spinning, shooting, scoring. Chattanooga's made it a 1 point game. VMI led by as many as 15 back in the first half. And Chattanooga has got hot over the last couple of minutes.
Just feel like Chattanooga has gotten a little bit more in sync offensively. And they've really tapped into their rebounding and into their aggressive defense. We saw them even flash the 1-3-1 for a little bit, which is, again, part of that anticipating what the other team's going to do, get your hands in the passing lanes. And it's a defense that will result in turnovers and fast break points.
Otter Huff has had a nice day today for VMI. 10 points, averaging coming into today. He is sitting at 16 as he's at the free throw line. First trip for him today. And he hits one of two. 62-60, chance for Chattanooga to tie it or take the lead. Mocs have not led in this game.
Defensive foul.
That'll go on Kerfman.
Yeah, trying to get around. Trying to get around the offense. Fight through some screen. Like they're going to throw that zone out there. Although Chattanooga has warmed up to 46%, Mox might be up to the task of finding a hole in the zone.
Baptiste, he found a hole. Tie game at 62.
I feel like both he and Malachi Smith now have dialed it up a notch. They realize that the 5 guys on the floor, they are the 2 that need to take responsibility for shooting.
Nussbaum's 3. Rebounded by Smith. Malachi Smith, that is rebound number 8. Underneath, Hankton loose on the floor. Kerfman on top of it. Possession arrow pointing in favor of VMI.
Nice job to stay out of a foul. I'm laughing because I'm watching Terrell Owens. You can see him there, and just right next to the VMI score there, wearing the sweatshirt. There he is. He's coaching. Lamont, you just take the rest of the night off. You and I were talking when he was out there with the Sweet 16 team. He's not a part of that team, but when he played, his rebounding instincts, the length of his arms, and the height of his hops, I mean, he was something to watch. It's not quite Dennis Rodman, but kind of knew what his role was and filled it very nicely for 2 years.
Bonham off the glass. Hankton with a rebound. Once again, a chance for Chattanooga to take their first lead. Hankton, the floater, not there. Rebound tipped. VMI has it.
We talked about not making hero plays, and somewhat of a hero feel there maybe from Hankton.
3 from Kerfman, got it. And Kerfman will wave at the Chattanooga student section as he runs down the floor. Keydet's back in front by 3, 65-62. Smith, got it, tied again.
Lamont's going to take a timeout. He wants to change his personnel. He likes what's happening, but he wants to get Josh Ianni back into the game right now.
5:17 left to go. Game tied at 65 after that Malachi Smith 3. Smith now with 24 in this game.
Boy, talk about a guy that's gotten up off the bench, right? I mean, he was struggling again for his second game in the row. Ended the half with just 6 points. And now he's, as you pointed out, leading the way number-wise, not to mention 7 rebounds already.
18 points from Malachi Smith in the second half.
Worth pointing out again, this team is trying to figure out how to play and win without Silvio De Sosa in the lineup. And VMI is trying to figure out how to hold on with Jake Stevens, who went out early. You know, one of the best players in the league, and he has he's been placed on the bench with an injury to watch.
Bounham has it stolen away by Smith. Malachi Smith to the rim. Chattanooga has their first lead.
I believe that's what they call feeling it. There's a travel that the officials missed. VMI's got to regain some composure here. We talked earlier about how relaxed that they can look.
Huff drains it from deep.
Boy, Banks is, he can't figure that out. He's there defensively.
How about Honor Huff, the freshman from Brooklyn, New York? Baptiste opposite end three. The tip by Smith, not there. Kerfman rebounds. But Honor Huff with 19 points. And they've had to rely on the play of those two guards. Rowe banks it in.
Starting to put their run together.
First basket for Lewis Rowe. 70-67. VMI in front by 3. Baptiste. Too much. Off the back of the rim, loose on the floor, and Bounham has it. Huff. And the rebound tipped out of bounds. And VMI will keep it. VMI's ball when we return after this break. 70-67. The Keydets in front of the box. 3:13 left to go. (70-67), a 3-point lead for the Keydets of VMI. They have been lethal today from deep. 14 threes in this game. VMI has hit 14 of 30.
Yeah, and Hunter Huff leading the way in a lot of ways. He had 5 3-pointers in the first meeting and 23 points, so he is certainly showing Chattanooga that was not a mistake and not just a one-time outing.
They made 17 threes earlier this year against the Citadel and against Mercer. Ball goes off the leg of A.J. Caldwell.
Well, A.J. Caldwell getting back into the lineup. And he's going to have to find a way to be productive here down the stretch.
Kerfman off balance, knocks it down. Camden Kerfman has put together a nice performance today offensively as well. 14 points for him, averaging 16 a game coming into this afternoon.
Yeah, and he's logged 24 minutes and looks fresh.
Here's Diggs working on Rowe. Diggs goes off the glass and Rowe rebounds.
Now this is about where Chattanooga found themselves against UNCG.
Bonham rims out, taken by Smith. Caldwell got it. Well, you mentioned it.
That's another powering three-pointer.
Yeah, he's saying it's about time.
A.J. Caldwell has been 0 of 4 prior to that shot. Now he's 1 of 5.
Now, he just has not had a good couple of offensive games. And look, if he goes dry, then that's a problem based on the amount of time that he gets. You know, we always talk about if you're going to get a lot of minutes, you've got to either score points or get rebounds. And it's been a bit of a disappointing run for him lately. He didn't have anything against UNCG, only 2 points against Furman. And it's helpful to have him pour in some of those three-pointers. That changes the defensive look as well. And we are seeing Chattanooga late in this game. They're acting with a little bit more urgency offensively.
There's a look at your numbers from today's game. Chattanooga winning the rebounding battle. Mox with a decided advantage in the paint. But VMI, the #1 three-point shooting team in the conference, and they have been fire from deep.
Yeah, a number that you don't think is going to hold up, right? And it has held up so far the entirety of this game. Remember, at the break, they were a little over or just right around 50% from behind that three-point line, and they dipped down to 44%, but still.
14 made three-pointers today for VMI. They lead Chattanooga by 2. Keydets against the Chattanooga press.
Yeah, this is what you do. You know, sometimes when you're trying to work your way out of a deficit, you've got to press.
Kerfman, the NBA 3 rims out, but a nice rebound to keep it alive by Mans. And the runner along the baseline by Huff for 2 more. He's got 21 now.
Yeah, in some ways, if you're Chattanooga, you feel like you were okay there because you didn't give up the 3.
4-point advantage, Baptiste.
That's another powering three-pointer.
VMI has the ball skills to get out of this trap, this press.
Foul will go on Grant Ledford.
I think you take that. Whatever it takes right now to disrupt play defensively.
That's the first personal foul on Ledford. That's just number 4 on Chattanooga. A lot of fouls to give over the final 1 minute in a 1-point game. Mans goes inside. Rowe shoots and scores.
It's going to be a foul on David Jean-Baptiste probably. You know, you get caught in the switch. Watch right here. VMI recognizes it. So it's big on a little.
2 points, Lewis Rowe. Rowe at the line, shooting 1.
And that's, again, I don't know how bad that is of a decision to make the foul. We'll find out here if it's really bad if Rowe is able to hit on this free throw.
1 minute remaining.
A 3 will tie it for Chattanooga. Smith. And a blocking foul called on VMI.
Hard to believe these two teams were in this same boat 2 nights ago. VMI at Sanford, Chattanooga here at home against UNCG.
I think this gives you a little taste of what conference tournament play is going to be like.
That's exactly right. It's been tournament play for Chattanooga ever since their road trip to Furman.
Win today by Chattanooga would clinch the regular season title and the #1 seed in the Southern Conference tournament. It would, should they not get the automatic berth into the NCAAs, it would clinch an NIT berth with a win today. One-point game.
We said earlier that Malachi Smith, after the Spartan game, said, look, not enough stops, not enough rebounds. You need one of each right here.
One-point game for VMI. They have the lead.
They might burn a timeout here.
And they will. Dan Earl calls his team over. VMI trying to snap a 2-game losing streak after they had won 4 straight in conference play. They've lost their last 2, including in overtime against Sanford. They come into this game today. Jake Stevens, the Southern Conference's Player of the Week, goes down midway through the first half with an injury. They've lost him for the rest of this game. But the Keydets have seen their 15-point first-half lead dwindle to a 1-point advantage now, but they're still in front with 45 seconds left.
I'm sure Lamont Paris is saying they're going to screen out high at the top of the key for a shooter, but we still can't lose. And you don't know that's going to be Bonham or Huff, but we cannot lose one of those two or Kerfman unattended to. You really want to be sure you have locked down at least all 3 shooters here. You can survive a 2. It'd be hard to come back from a dagger of a 3. And how about this? Gonna go isolation. Here comes the screen at the top of the key.
There goes Bonham down off the glass and scores.
You gotta hurry up here. You're thinking we want 2 more shots at this.
A 3 will tie it. Smith, the miss, rebound taken by VMI. Chattanooga will have to foul.
Again, your best player creates a pretty good look, just not able to finish. And you need at least 2 fouls to put VMI in the bonus. Don't let anybody get behind you. Steal and foul, steal and foul.
Ball goes out of bounds. They'll give it back to VMI on a kick.
They're going to go over and make sure they've got possession correctly, I believe, Chris. Double check the monitor and see if there's a good look here. Watch right here. Again, Chattanooga, the first thing they do in these situations, they go for the steal. Got to back it up just a little bit more. That first look was probably the best look that we've had at it. Yeah, that's what you want, right? You back it up.
Oh. Well, the crowd here is seeing the same shot we're seeing.
This is why you love this conference right now. The top of the pack has gotten really competitive. Chattanooga, Furman, VMI, and UNCG. If you're Chattanooga, I mean, there's the potential you could drop back-to-back home games against teams 3 and 4 in the league.
78-75, and a big decision here after the review. Ball is set to go back to VMI. They will reverse it, and Chattanooga will have possession.
VMI has the same questions to ask. Look, they've been in their huddle wondering who has the ball, right? And now they know. Let's see if they have conveyed the idea. David Jean-Baptiste, Malachi Smith, and A.J. Caldwell and or Grant Ledford have to have a body on them.
10 seconds. You need a 3 to tie. You got an inbounds play for this?
Well, yeah, it's going to require a screen, though. You're going to get the ball in and then a screen.
Smith for the tie. Rebound tipped out of bounds.
This one will go back to review again, too. Maybe.
They're going to say last touch by Chattanooga. Mox will be in a position here. They will have no choice but to foul.
Again, don't let anybody get behind you. You want to make sure this happens in front of you. And is there enough time to go for a steal?
Well, they're going to take a look at it again now.
I just feel for Malachi Smith, Chris. I mean, he's had 2 good looks here in the last minute and hasn't yet found a way to convert.
Here's what they're looking at. Out of bounds. Did Banks touch it last?
Yeah, I think so. But everybody, it's the nice thing about replay. Everybody gets to have an opinion, right? Time for Terrell Owens to eat some popcorn.
Oh, the popcorn's definitely ready today.
That's right.
Definitely ready today in this building, celebrating the Sweet 16 team from 25 years ago.
Now, they all said, you know, the hardest game for them in that stretch was the Marshall Championship game in Charlotte. And I think this team could tell you right here, their hardest or their biggest hurdle so far has been here at home against the Spartans and now VMI.
VMI ball, Keydets will inbound it. And there's the foul by Ledford on Trey Bonham. Now, Bonham just a 79% free throw shooter as he will go to the line. But this is a VMI team that is second in the conference. As a team, they shoot 78%. Now that's tough to come back from. Now you've got a 2-possession game here with 3 seconds left. So
I'll go out on a limb and say impossible.
Five-point game, 3 seconds left for Chattanooga. Banks. And that's the way it ends. VMI escapes Chattanooga with a 5-point win, 80-75. And UTC, back-to-back games, the Mocs have had the chance to clinch a regular season title at home, and they've come up empty-handed. Todd, some final thoughts.
Chattanooga knew that if you were able to stop VMI from penetrating, that they would find a wing shooter, and they did it to perfection today. And for Chattanooga, it's back to decisions and execution and performance.
For Todd Agnew, I'm Chris Goforth saying so long from the McKenzie Arena, where your final score, VMI defeats Chattanooga 80-75. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and are archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.